Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Also the North Central Chaplain for Broken Chains, JC. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. Today is September 11th, 2025, and we are looking at Proverbs chapter 11. Didn't even pay attention to the date as I was getting ready to share this morning, and it's been a few years since the September 11th, 2001 attack, huh? You know, we should never forget those things in life and the lessons that we learn from them, whether it be a nation or as a people and as a person individually. We are looking at Proverbs this month and looking at what discipline is. And I am not going to relate September 11th, 2001 to a discipline action necessarily, other than there were lessons that needed to be learned. And whether we learned them well or not, I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. But what I am going to tell you is, as I was reading this morning, God was talking to me about discipline. In my readings in Isaiah, in my readings in Psalms, in my readings in Corinthians, in my readings in Proverbs today. In all of those, God was talking to me about discipline and showing me over and over and over again that when it gets to the point of punishment, there are two outcomes that can be expected from punishment. And that outcome comes from the response of the punishment. In Proverbs chapter 11, verse 31, it says this: "The righteous will be repaid on earth, how much more the wicked and the sinful." You know, I can remember as a child, there were times where I needed to get spanked. And yes, I needed to get spanked. I was unruly. I had lessons that needed to be learned, and I was not learning them. And no matter how my mom and dad tried to correct me with groundings and timeouts and stern talking tos and whatever else, there were times where physical pain was absolutely necessary. And I can tell you that the lessons that I learned from those spankings landed on two sides of a coin. One was really good lessons, and the other wasn't so great. When I took the beatings and I was absolutely defiant, and I refused to receive the correction from them, I was not learning. More often than not, after those occasions, my parents were left frustrated and left me to think about what I had done. And honestly, I never learned a thing from those beatings. And now I say beatings, they weren't beatings. I don't remember ever even getting a bruise from a spanking. And there were times where they were pretty rough. But I don't remember ever getting a bruise from it. But here's the thing. The lessons I learned from the times that when I took those in a humble way, and I'm not saying a really humble way, I knew that I was wrong, and I took those spankings, and those were the times that afterwards mom or dad would be gentle with me, caring with me. They would love me and tell me that they didn't like the fact that they had to go there. And they hoped they never had to go there again. They soothed me. You know, I was reading in Isaiah, the words from Isaiah to the nation and saying, you know, guys, you know, God corrects all these things, but if you just receive the correction, your sins, even though they look like scarlet, will be made white, right? And I realized something this morning as I read through Proverbs 11. Solomon, in his teachings, is telling us that when you receive those well, you receive the discipline well, God will come and comfort you, soothe you. Matter of fact, in Isaiah, it depicts the aftercare of a punishment in the fact that there is a soothing oil and a cleansing of the punishment, and there is a pampering of the discipline. Solomon kind of refers to that throughout Proverbs 11 today as well, and wraps up the thought with, if righteousness will be repaid on earth, in other words, you receive your discipline well, and you will find the soothing from it, how much more the wicked and the sinful? We need to learn to take our punishment well, our discipline well, and be grateful for the aftercare and the loving that we receive from God after. It's just something to think about today. Guys, I love y'all. I hope you have a great day. God bless.